one of the first things we're going to want to do is turn on the battery power inside the coach. And to do that, we have to reset the DC breakers that control that. There's a 150 amp DC breaker for the house and an 80 amp DC breaker for the generator. When we winterize, we tripped the two breakers by pressing the two little red tabs here. And now we're going to do the reverse. This is a 2018 Pleasureway Ascent. The location of these might be slightly different on your rig. So I've just reset the two breakers. You heard the clicking there. So now the power is available to the DC powered systems within the house, within the van. So if I turn on the main battery switch here, spider systems are back up and everything's available. When we winterize, we close the hot and cold drainage valves, but we left this white one open. This is leading from the trauma, so in the event there's any water remaining in there, it'll drain over the winter, but now we have to close it. There, closed. And what we'll do is we'll drain the antifreeze into the black tank from all the faucets. We'll start with the toilet first, and that'll get rid of most of it. So before we get going and flush out the antifreeze, we want to make sure that we're still in winter mode, because we don't want to send any antifreeze into the Truma as one. We want to get rid of all the antifreeze as much as possible into the black tank, and the best way to do that is to leave things in winter mode. I've removed the drawers from the kitchen cabinets here, and when I winterized, I left this clear tubing going into the water pump. And what I'm going to do now is simply take this tubing and drop it inside a water jug to draw water from. Okay, so with the water lines all primed up, we're ready to go. We're going to drain most of the antifreeze into the black tank. You can see. Let it run until it runs clear. Okay, it's doing pretty good right now. So we'll go over to each faucet now and drain whatever is up in those lines. Run the water until antifreeze is mostly gone and you have a clear flow. Go around each faucet and open up the valves hot and cold. Let most of this antifreeze out of the system. Might take a few minutes. You might also need to switch on and off your water pump because it might lose its prime, but that's normal. Once all the antifreeze has been flushed out, turn the water pump off and send whatever pressurized water remains down the black tank at the toilet. Once it stops, come down here again and open all of these valves to basically flush out whatever's left in the lines. It won't be much at all, but just let it drain. Should be clear water by now, no environmental issues. Just let all that water come out, and then we'll switch to summer mode and run some water into the rest of the system. So with the system now depressurized, it's time to put the water filter back into the Truma. Get it ready. That's all. Switch it on as well from here. Okay, so now we're going to switch to summer mode. We have 4 valves in each of our vans. Look for 4. And in my case, when they're all horizontal, that's summer mode. Could be different in yours. Make sure you look at your own owner's manual. So once we have drained the system and we've turned on summer mode, let's switch the water pump back on. It'll again prime from my bucket. I needed roughly 2 buckets to do this procedure, and it might be similar for you. To treat our fresh water tank, we're going to pour 1 cup of bleach down into the tank filler. But the first thing we want to do is close the low point valve on the tank itself. To pour the bleach down my freshwater tank, I'm going to use a measuring cup. But even with the beak on that cup, it's very, very hard to pour into this hole because of the angle. So I'm going to use the little de-winterizing bypass tube, clear tube, that I used earlier to flush out the antifreeze. I'll just take a little funnel and put it in here and drop the bleach in there. Just a little reminder, when you're dealing with your freshwater Phillip door when it's open, don't open your sliding door. In my case here, it'll shear this off and possibly damage the door as well. So just keep a mental note to not open the sliding door while you're dealing with this. If you have to go back in the van to switch the water pump or whatever your preoccupation is while you're filling this tank, use the passenger side door, let's say. Fill up your freshwater tank with a hose and a filter, inline filter, to make sure no contaminants get into your tank. So the bleach we added will mix together with the water, and to make sure it's properly mixed, we're going to go for a little ride and swoosh this around a little bit, and then we'll drain this through the tanks again and probably fill the water tank, the freshwater tank, at least 1 more time to clear out all this bleachy chlorine smell. Just in the time it took me to de-winterize and flush the water systems, the solar has already started charging the battery. We started at 13.3, we're now at 13.4. Full battery is 13.6. So like I said earlier, a couple of days of sunshine, if that, maybe just today, will be enough to bring it to full charge, and we'll be ready. We want to run just a little bit of water from the bleached fresh water into our lines. So we run water at each tap, and once that's done, stop. We want to make sure there's enough water still left in the tank to swoosh around and rinse that tank properly, clean it properly as we drive around for a little bit before we flush that out and rinse with probably 2 freshwater tank fulls to make sure we get rid of all that bleach before we're ready to use it.